England in the 16th century was a land of religious and political turmoil. The winds of the Reformation had swept across Europe, leaving England caught in the storm. King Henry VIII's break from the Catholic Church had sent shockwaves through the country. His quest for a male heir had resulted in 6 wives, religious upheaval, and deep divisions within the realm. When the young King Edward VI, Henry's frail son, ascended the throne, the future of England hung precariously in the balance. Edward, a devout Protestant, wished to secure the future of the reformed religion in England. His health, however, was a constant source of worry. He was a sickly boy, and it was clear that he might not live long enough to cement his legacy. Fearing the possibility of his Catholic half-sister Mary inheriting the crown, Edward sought a way to alter the line of succession. He wanted to ensure that England remained a Protestant nation. Little did he know that his decision would have devastating consequences for an innocent girl caught in the crossfire of ambition and power. The stage was set for a dramatic power struggle, a tale of ambition, intrigue, and, ultimately, tragedy. At the heart of this storm was Lady Jane Grey, a young woman of intellect and conviction. She was an unlikely pawn in this dangerous Game of Thrones. Her story serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of ambition and the fickle hand of fate in Tudor England. King Edward VI, guided by his advisors, devised a daring plan. They would use Edward's will to bypass both his half-sisters Mary and Elizabeth in the line of succession. Their claim to the throne was seen as a threat to the Protestant Reformation. Instead, they chose Lady Jane Grey, Edward's cousin, as the heir apparent. Jane was a devout Protestant known for her intelligence and piety, making her a suitable figurehead for their cause. The architects of this plan believed they were safeguarding England's religious future. They argued that Mary's ascension would plunge the country back into the perceived darkness of Catholicism. They saw Jane as a symbol of hope, a beacon of Protestant ideals. However, their actions were driven by political expediency and a fear of a Catholic resurgence. They underestimated the ambition of those who craved power and the loyalty that Mary, as Henry VIII's daughter, commanded from many. The decision to name Jane as Edward's heir was a dangerous gamble. It disregarded the act of succession, which clearly placed Mary next in line to the throne. It also ignored the deep-seated belief in the divine right of kings, a belief that would ultimately prove to be a formidable obstacle to their plan. Jane, an intelligent and well-educated young woman, was acutely aware of the precariousness of her situation. She understood that she was a pawn in a high-stakes game, a political maneuver that could easily backfire. Lady Jane Grey was no ordinary Tudor lady. Born into a noble family, she could have easily lived a life of privilege and leisure. However, Jane was different. She possessed a thirst for knowledge and a deep sense of piety that set her apart from her peers. From a young age, Jane received a rigorous education, a rarity for girls at the time. She excelled in her studies, mastering Latin, Greek and Hebrew, and immersing herself in religious texts, while other girls her age were learning courtly manners and social graces. Jane was engaged in lively debates with scholars and theologians. She was a devout Protestant, deeply influenced by the teachings of the Reformation. Her faith was not merely a matter of tradition, but a deeply held personal conviction. This strong moral compass would both elevate her and ultimately lead to her downfall. Her intelligence and erudition impressed many, including the renowned humanist scholar Roger Ascham. He once found her reading Plato while the rest of her family were out hunting. Jane's upbringing, though privileged, was also marked by the turbulent political climate of Tudor England. She witnessed firsthand the religious conflicts and power struggles that plagued the court. Her own family was not immune to these intrigues. Her parents, ambitious and power-hungry, pushed her towards court at a young age. They saw her intelligence and piety as assets in the game of courtly politics. Little did they know that their ambitions would have tragic consequences for their daughter. When King Edward VI died in 1553, Lady Jane Grey's life changed forever. Edward's advisors, determined to see their plan through, proclaimed Jane as Queen of England. They whisked her away to the Tower of London, a traditional location for coronations. Jane, however, was far from enthusiastic about her sudden elevation. Thrust into the spotlight, she faced a whirlwind of emotions, fear, confusion, and a deep sense of foreboding. She knew that her claim to the throne was tenuous at best. She was a reluctant queen, thrust into a role she never desired. She understood the weight of the crown and the responsibility it entailed. Yet she faced the daunting task with remarkable courage and composure. She attempted to assert her authority, signing documents and consulting with her advisors. However, her reign was plagued by uncertainty and fear. The people of England were divided. Support for Mary, the rightful heir, was growing stronger by the day. The whispers of rebellion echoed through the halls of power. Jane's own family, blinded by ambition, urged her to fight for her claim. However, she knew that bloodshed and violence were not the answer. She clung to her faith, finding solace in prayer and religious contemplation. Her 9-day reign was a time of immense pressure and anxiety. Little did she know that her time as queen was quickly running out.